My name's Kathy Becvar, and I was born and raised right here in Lewiston. My parents are still here, and my mom worked in the mills, and my grandparents worked in the mills here. So living in Maine is, I've got a long history. My heritage is French-Canadian. My mom worked at Libby Mill. She cut blankets on big bolts of cloth and just worked so hard. My dad worked at Brunswick Naval Air Station as an electronics engineer. And I just remember years ago my mom coming home from work. My grandparents would drop her off, and she would immediately just jump right into cooking dinner. There were 4 of us, so family of 6 with my parents. So as you can imagine, having 4 of us running around and pulling at her the minute she got home from a very hard, long day of work. She'd fix dinner for all of us, and it was always a home-cooked meal. There was nothing ever prepared. My dad would come in, sit down, watch Merv Griffin, and we'd be outside, and we always had a brass bell that was on the back porch. When we were outside and it was time to come in for whatever reason, my mom would ring the bell, and we knew it was dinner or food. So we'd come tearing into the house, ready to sit, get washed up, sit down, have a good solid home-cooked meal, and then we'd probably do our homework. And if the daylight was long enough, we were back outside until the bell rang. But the rule was you went back in the house when the streetlights came on. So we abided by that rule, and it was a great life. We never locked our doors. We were always outside. We had archery, golf. We did anything and everything. We built tree houses. It was a great time to be brought up. Here in Lewiston, Auburn, where it was pretty much textile and shoe, back in the 80s, I want to say, this town just kind of took a significant nosedive. The mills closed. We had a lot of vacant buildings, and it was pretty sad and drab. Downtown Lewiston was the place to go when I was a kid. It was thriving with Kresge's and Grant's and Woolworths, and Peck's, can't forget Peck's. And then, that kind of all went by the wayside, and we ended up with a lot of empty storefronts. So I wasn't as involved with the community back then, but I don't know, for the past 15 years, maybe 20 years, I don't know when I got involved. I joined the chamber and started, getting involved with tourism, became an ambassador for the chamber, joined a few boards of local nonprofits, and just started to see a huge turnaround in this community where businesses were really starting to pick up, especially the downtown. There was a whole revitalization that was going on in Lewiston and Auburn that really turned things around. And even more recently, it's really been showing a huge change.